People who like taking videos for YouTube are also usually big fans of taking photos. And a lot of people who take photos just use phones, as you know. They just use their cell phone because it's got such a great camera on it these days. All of the smartphones now have got fantastic cameras, so there's not a whole lot of people left who are using DSLR cameras in comparison to those using just using their cell phone. But have you seen that setting HDR on your camera? So what does HDR mean, and when would we use it? Stick around and I'll tell you. So HDR stands for High Dynamic Range, and what it actually does is it increases the quality of your photo by, instead of just taking one exposure, one snap and you're done basically, it actually takes 3 photos in very quick succession with high exposure, medium exposure and low exposure to capture the best of the qualities of the particular photo that you're taking, and then it combines all 3 of those. Let me give you some examples of before and after. So as you can see, HDR does tend to give you better quality photos. It's not something that everybody wants to use. If you're just after a quick snap, it's probably not the best, simply because you need to keep your camera still for that fraction of a second longer in the same place. If you move your photo, you're going to end up with a blurred image. Whereas if you just take a single snap, bang, you're done. But if you've got it on a tripod, or if you can just hold your camera nice and still, you're going to get photos with a much deeper sense of quality and be able to improve your photos just that little bit extra. HDR. Let me show you how I get it in my camera. Remember, I told you before, I just have a Samsung. It's an Android phone, and you can do this on iPhones as well, I believe, in the iOS system. So just in regular camera mode on this particular camera, the default app. Here we go. All I have to do, I'm looking at the scene here. If I want to change it from auto to HDR, I just swipe from the left and bring the settings out. Currently set to auto. You're going to get some variation, so the bright colors are going to be blown out and the darks are not going to be. So you'd pick HDR from here. That's the one right there. Okay, now if I back out of that, and I'll show you also in open camera that I mentioned on the last video. If we swipe across to this one and click on that, so this is open, and my settings for photos, you can see I'm on photo mode here instead of video mode. So I'll go back to photos because that's what we're talking about today. And if I click on the 3 dots again, you'll see I'm currently in HDR mode because that's what I used last. But just don't be surprised if you're on standard that you can't take underexposed and overexposed in the same shot. Standard and HDR are the 2 that I use. Sticking to HDR if I want to get a better quality photo where the underexposed and overexposed can be evened out. Well, I hope that helps you to improve the quality of your photos. If you're not using HDR, you may very well like to start. As you've seen, it does produce better photos. I'm Aussie Mark, as you know, and thank you so much for stopping by this video today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope that you'll leave me a comment and let me know what you think and whether you've actually used HDR before or whether you might start using it now. Thanks again. You have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and give us a thumbs up would be really appreciated. Bye for now.